I bid you all a very warm welcome on a not very warm day. Thank you so much for agreeing to be in this position. Some of you are brand new to the job. Some of you have done it for 2 years. Nancy's 3rd year on the truck. So you're all welcome for whatever reason. I attended a training session in San Diego with 538 fellow district governors from around the world, where Barry Raston, our president-elect, told us, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And you will find that as you go through your year. And of course, you revealed our exciting theme, be the inspiration. That's a challenge and a scary thought sometimes, I think. As previously, Rotary's got 3 goals: support and strengthen the clubs, focus and increase humanitarian service, enhance public image and awareness. Over the next couple of days, we hope to give you some tools to be able to do that. The recording, just to give you some background to that, we haven't recorded in the past, but I remember talking to one of my millennial incoming presidents-elect and said, why don't we record stuff? You know, we're always on our phone or our tablet. Why can't we do the training through that medium? Well, we're taking a step towards that, but not in that way, because this is important. Your fellowship is important. Building relationships with your fellow AGs is important. That's one of the things that keeps Rotary strong and keeps us together. So this will be used as a backup for you, if you will. There will be a lot to hear and a lot to see today, particularly for people who've not been through this sort of training before. You might want to say to yourself in a few months' time, gosh, I wonder what it was about that I've done. Hopefully, if this works as we hope it will, you'll have a reference point to be able to do that. Also, in the event that for any reason you have to step down, life gets in the way of all of us sometimes. It may be a medium for us to bring your successor up to date. Each year, when we have trainings in Rotary, we seek to improve it as best we can. None of us, I'm certainly not a trainer by design. I'm a former banker, don't hold that against me. We rely on you and your feedback to help us make next year's events as strong as they can be. So in your package here, you have an evaluation form that I'll ask you please to complete after every session. The reason I say that is, if you're anything like me, if you try and do this tomorrow, you won't remember what happened today. So be positive in what you're responding. Give us honest feedback. If you don't like what we've said or how we've said it or the message we're putting across, we'd like to know about that so that we have a way of developing Johnny's ear for the future. Okay. So now we're going to talk about planning and how you plan for success. It's a truism, I think, to say that if you don't plan, you fail to plan, you will plan to fail. There are 3 citations which you may use to help you plan for the future with your president. You will find presidents who say, I believe in the 4-way test. I don't need to get a citation to do what I do. I want to be running my club. Nothing to do with you, district. My club is my club, and I'm going to run it the way I want. They're common in some places. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a roadmap to tell you where you're going to go, how do you know where you're going to go? If you've always done it that way, is doing it always the same way relevant to today? And we've got to look to ourselves to say, how can we help? And that's our role here. How can we help our presidents and our clubs to be as strong and successful as they possibly can? like to think that every club could receive the citations. Bold thought? Well, it is, and it isn't. If you do your part in encouraging and checking on dates and making sure people do things in a timely fashion, there's every chance that people can achieve these citations, because they aren't difficult. They are difficult in certain aspects for certain clubs. Let's say a club has had nothing to do with youth in the past. The question I'd ask them is, so if you haven't had anything to do with youth, is there a way perhaps you might try to have something to do with youth? And whatever area they are. Foundation, big part of what we do, is something that some people struggle with. Telling the benefits of why we are donating to the foundation is a way that we will all encourage our people to be as strong as they can. So let's go through the citations, if we will, for a while, and see what we have to say. So page 33 in your immense workbook here is the Club Leadership Citation. Now that's the one that's typically drawn up by me, using past thoughts and also additional thoughts. So you can see they are fitting avenues of service, membership, foundation, leadership development, and communication. But before we start, you go to the very bottom of the page, because before you even take office, your clubs have got to do their child protection and memorandum of compliance. That's really important, folks. When we're dealing with youngsters, we have to make sure that everybody that we're dealing with follows the four-way test and is not registered anywhere that we don't want them to be registered. Mm-hmm. So having got that out of the way before June the 30th, then we can get into the remainder of the citation. Club creates and utilizes a service project or initiative calendar. Why a calendar? You want a calendar because you want to have a plan. If you don't tell people in advance, they can't put it in their calendar. They can't say, I'm going to make time to be part of my Rotary family. They'll say, oh, it's October the 3rd, we're going to do so-and-so. No one will turn up because they didn't have it on their calendar. So encourage your clubs to produce a plan of what they hope to do for the year. Literacy, strong part of what we do. Have a literacy project, Imagination Library. The little free library you'll be hearing more about later in the training, so I'm not going to go into that, but it's a very good way of involving people who sometimes can't afford to be to have access to books and don't have a Kindle to do it. So you'll hear more about that. Environmental community service projects, self-explanatory. Youth is a big part of what we do. President-elect Barry has challenged us to double the number of Rotaract clubs we have. So that's a strong message that I'll be putting over to people. How do we set up new Rotaract clubs? Not necessarily in college, but community Rotaract clubs, where they're more likely to stay in the area rather than get their degree and head to pastures new. CART is still a very strong part of what we do. Some of us are losing our mind already, I think. But in all seriousness, this is something that we can do as an organization to raise funds for the people who really need it, who can, with a bit of luck, find that magic message that we need to find a cure for this dread disease. Polio is our #1 priority, external priority. Internally, membership is, but the world at large, polio, we still want to eradicate polio from the face of this world. We made a promise to the children of the world, we will do it. But that means that you have to keep encouraging folk to make sure that that happens. We've been doing this for over 30 years. Some people are bored. Don't let it be bored. We need to finish this program. The four-way test is our creed. Please use it. the Rotary Rocks Day. I'll explain that a bit to you. In my club, in Hilton Head, we created Rotarians Offering Community Service, where we gave notice to all our members that on a given day, everyone would be expected to come out and get involved with a program of helping someone somewhere. And we introduced that to other clubs in Area 4, and we have a great time in the morning, try and get every member, including our 101-year-old member with first attendance since 1945, who comes and helps out. So it can be done if you sell it properly. Membership, as I've said to you, is a key for all of us. Johnny will be talking a lot about membership later on. It's a tough ask at the moment, what we're having to face. Some clubs are doing really well. Many clubs are puttering along. We need to do something about it. So all these various points that we've got here are designed to help you do that and to concentrate the mind of the people trying to make it happen. This is not a I'm going to tell you what to do thing. This is a how about trying this, folks? And this is why we want to do it, to strengthen your club. Foundation, we'll be talking more about that too. Foundation is very important. We can't do across the world what we do without having a strong foundation. I'm a great believer that you don't walk around with your hand out saying, please, will you give me? I'm a great believer you say to people, can you help me try and achieve this action? Help this group of people. Put drops of polio into Johnson's mouth, whatever it may be. Sell the product you're trying to sell. And people don't like the word sell, but unfortunately sometimes you do have to tell people what you're trying to achieve for them to understand what they're going to achieve. So the foundation goals are very similar to previous years. Leadership development. Another area where you may have difficulty with your clubs. Asking your clubs to attend district functions. Why would they? They don't care about district, they only care about their club, as I mentioned earlier. Not true, actually. And for those of you who have attended district events, hopefully you've developed more as a human being and more as a Rotarian through so doing. So where are we? So go to assembly and pets. Well, I think we've got most of our people signed up for pets, and pets are found. And you folks will be getting involved with pre-petting them in the next couple of weeks, I hope, to get them ready for what you have. You're it, come on, do it, and you've never been on the board and you've never been helping with the foundation and so on beforehand. How do you know? Each one member attends the RI convention. Who's been to an RI convention? May I encourage those of you who have not to try and do so. That's the time when you will see what the Internationality of Rotary is all about. There'll be a huge great screen with a map of the world and a parade of flags saying, in Bura Bura we have a club, and you'll be saying, where's that? No, it's a phenomenal place to learn about what we do and where we come from. We have met many fantastic speakers, people like Queen Law was at one of mine, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton was an interesting person with her imagination library. I shouldn't do this on screen, but I'm going to. She was awarded a Paul Harris Fellowship, and as is typical when a senior member of Rotary does something, they tend to be as grey-haired as I. And an old guy comes across the thing with a pin in his hand like this towards Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton says, "Whoa! Do you think you're going to do with that pin what I think you're going to do with that pin?" And she said, "Oh, no, you're not. There's one slip of that and I'll be flying around the roof of this auditorium." So that was a truism. But apart from those funny sides, it is a very uplifting and amazing place to be with 20,000 people from across the globe. It's something that you will never forget once you've been there. Communications, we will be talking a bit about public relations later on as well. We don't tell our story well enough, do we, folks? And we don't tell it because sometimes we don't know how to. Sometimes the thought of Facebook, which is passé, I'm told, or Twitter or Snapchat and all the various actions, it takes somebody to actually get a grip and do something with it. Well, we're not doing that. We're not going to get anywhere. So that's important, and I'm going to move on quickly now to the Rotary citation. It used to be called the President's citation. You have one of these on your desk. President Barry has produced a citation. President's citation used to be a very difficult thing to get. There was always one area that you just couldn't handle. And when you see them being announced at the district conference, it's a problem. I don't know, 20% maybe if we're lucky to get the President's citation. I think this year it's much, much more manageable. And as you see, it's based on the 3 areas of focus I mentioned earlier on: supporting and strengthening clubs, achieve a net gain of 1 member. That is not easy, but it's not impossible if you plan to do this. Maintain or increase your retention rate. When I was at my training, I saw a picture of a bucket with holes in it, and there were members going in the top and members falling out the bottom of the bucket. It was a great visual to me. We have to make sure that we engage our members, keep them involved, so that when we bring them in, they stay. We bring in 1.2 million Rotarians a year into our organisation. We lose 1.2 million across the world. That ain't a good thing. So your encouragement to your presidents to keep their members engaged and involved will help that retention be achieved. Ready for a big round of applause? Achieve a net gain in female members. Yes, please. 1, 2, 3, 4 assistant governors here at the moment are ladies. We must do more. We really must. Sorry, gentlemen, but if you want something done, you get a lady to do it. She can do 2 things at once, which we tend not to be able to do. So bring more ladies in. They're more representative of what's happening in your area, and we need them. This is an interesting one. Have at least 60% of club members report their birthdays. That could be a troublesome thing, because we just need the stats. We don't need to know who they are. Do it to the nearest 10 years. You never ask a lady her age, do you? Is that right, Nancy? No, never ask a lady her age. So, but no, for our own internal working, so that we know if we're working in the right way to get the right mix, we need to know people's ages. Sponsor or co-sponsor a new Rotary club. There are ways that we can be doing that, certainly the satellite clubs, and Johnny will be talking more about that later. Do a classification study of your occupations and see where you're missing things. It's not very difficult to actually sit and look at what you are and say, how do we want to change that? But people don't. They just go to lunch, go to dinner, and they just come and they go, and nobody does anything awesome. So it's about planning. Sponsor the Rotary Community Corps. Very few people will do that. Interact or Rotary clubs. I've already said we're trying to double that. Contribute at least $100 per capita to the annual fund. That should always, always, always be our target. Increase the number of members involved in service projects. That's not hard, really, surely. Hold an event to raise funds for polio. We talked about that. It shouldn't be hard. I'm sure Mr. Rydell, our polio chair, will be very happy to help you to work that way. Conduct a significant local or international service project in one of our 6 areas of focus. Everybody should be doing that as a matter of course. Public imagery awareness. Put your programs. Good morning and welcome, Jamie. host successful club projects and do what I'm asking you to do. Use Rotary's brand. When we see what Rotary's branding is about, don't do something different from what our overall brand is. Because if we do, then we'll not be in the message. Make sure that we use brand center and the available information. Tell your story to the media where you can. I know that one of the hardest types of that is that we're trying to tell a good story, typically. And what sells papers? Something not very good. But we have to find a way of putting a personal message onto it. Host an event for Rotary alumni. We're looking very hard at alumni at the moment to find out those people that we've given grants to in the past. We want them to come back and involved with us. So we have an alumni chair, Jim Dees, who is looking very hard at how we can do that, and we'll be talking about more about parents as well. Build partnerships with other corporates and sponsor youth exchange or RILA. I just realized that I've gone way ahead of the subject matter, because I really should have got you to introduce yourself a long time ago. Happens when you do this for a living. So if you would please say who you are. We'll start with Jody. Who you are, which club you're from, and which clubs you're responsible for, please.
I'm Jody Pinter. I am with Area 13. My clubs are Lake Marion at Santee, the Orangeburg Morning, the Orangeburg Lunch, and St. Matthews. Two of them are larger clubs and two little tiny clubs. But we're growing.
Jamie McDonald, Area 16, Lake City Rotary Club. I'm the West Lawrence Rotary Club. There's the Monday Club. There's the Breakfast Club, Darlington, and Hartsville. And I have a big club and a very little club.
Hello, AJ Gohel, North Myrtle Beach Rotary Club. I am responsible for Carolina Forest, Conway Club, Little River, and my own club, North Myrtle Beach. I've got my list, so I don't forget.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Rydell, Area 4. I am in the Van Landingham Club. I also have the Sunset Club, the Okeechee Club, the Bluffton Club, as well as the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island, which is the big club, the Lunch Club.
So good morning, y'all. I'm Chad Vale, and I get to be Area 8, and I'm a member of the Daniel Island Rotary Club, and my other clubs that I'm responsible for are East Cooper Breakfast, Mount Pleasant Lunch, North Charleston Lunch, and North Charleston Breakfast.
I'm George Chastain, as you already know. I'm here in Area 9. I get to work with the Burroughs Inlet Club, the Pawleys Island Club, the Georgetown Club, where I'm a member, the Georgetown Breakfast Club, and Andrews. My clubs range from 12 members to about 65.
Good morning. My name is Rob Rosel. I'm a member of the St. Andrews Charleston Club. Area 7, which is the St. Andrews Rotary Club, the Charleston Lunch Club, the Breakfast Club, and the St. John's Island Parish Club.
I'm Eric Davis, Area 2. I'm with the Vista Night Club. I have the Columbia Club, which is the largest club in the district. I've got Columbia Capital, Columbia East, Main Street Club, which is one of the newest clubs. I think I'm missing one in there, but hopefully they won't be insulted when they see this recording.
I'm Sherry Chapman. I'm Area 15, a member of Rotary Club of Tirard, home of former Governor Jimmy Williamson, and I will be servicing Bennettsville, Latta, Dillon, and Marion, plus Tirard.
I'm Carl McIntosh, and I have Area 12, which I like to famously say it's the Swamp Fox area, Swamp Fox Trail. And I have the Sumter Club, which is Monday lunch, Sumter Sunrise breakfast, and my club, the Rotary Club of Sumter Palmetto, which is Thursday. And besides that, I have Kingstree, Manning, and Somerton. Somerton is my smallest club, and it's by far my best club right now.
Charlotte Gonzalez with Area 5. I have Jasper Club, which is the little club that can and will make a good comeback. And then Sea Island Tuesday Lunch Club, Buford Wednesday Lunch Club, and my club, which is the Friday Morning Low Country Club.
I'm Bill Stedman. I used to be a member of David's Club. I live on Hilton Head. I live in Charleston, but I represent the Walterboro Club because I spend a good bit of my time in Walterboro. Also will be assisting St. George, Hampton, and Barnwell. All relatively small clubs. So anyway, we're in a rural area of South Carolina, but we've got a lot of growth potential.
I'm Eric Long. I'm in the Myrtle Beach Club, and I represent Area 10. So there are 4 clubs: Myrtle Beach, Sunrise, Chicora, and Surfside.
Thanks, Eric, very much. We will introduce the people that are hiding off camera as they come to do their various functions, but thank you all for being here and for watching how I managed to get the schedule around the wrong way. So in consideration of that, Club of the Year application there on page 38 of your booklet. There are a lot of clubs that don't apply to be a Club of the Year because they don't think that they can be a Club of the Year. For your purposes, that is not something that they should be thinking because they're not planning to succeed if they don't think, why would I want to be the Club of the Year? And a lot of what we're talking about here today is planning to succeed. If you don't apply for the Club of the Year, or you don't even think that it's relevant, how could you be the best you can be? Really? So, we talked about 2 citations. Will you make the citation? Yes or no? It's part of my Club of the Year. I should be striving to do that so that I can be able to. What's your youth development plan? Well, sorry, leadership development plan. I've already said we need to have succession planning. If you don't have a leadership succession plan, then people are not trained well enough by the time they get into positions of power. Not that it's power, it's leadership. How does Rotary share its information with the community? Back to our public relations, public image. It's an important part of what we do. What makes your club attractive to potential new members? So I walk into your club, how am I greeted? Is it a dingy room in the back of some horrible place? The food, horrible. Sorry, Charlotte,
Golden Corral.
Charlotte's at the Golden Corral. I can remember going there to present a Paul Harris Society presentation some years ago. And I said to the people there, I can feel my arteries clogging as I stand there. And that was probably not a really fair judgment on their food because there is some healthy food in Golden Corral, but it's not the best, shall we say. But I encourage you to encourage all of your clubs to look at themselves and say, really, what is it about my club that would encourage people? If they're a 10-member club and they're all 90 years old, are you going to get someone who's just left college to join them? No. If they're an all-male club, are you going to get ladies to join them? No. If you're an all-Caucasian club, are you going to find people from the different nationalities to join you? Difficult. So you really got to look very hard at seeing what your mix is to make sure that you're attractive. The numbers, where did you stand at the beginning of the year? How many did you introduce? How many 40 and under did you introduce? In terms of foundation, are you a sustaining member of club? Active Paul Harris Society members? Some of you may know that was my baby up until a year or so ago. And if you can't persuade people that they can find $75 a month on top of their $100 they're giving to the foundation normally, we're not doing a very good job. Yes, of course, some people are very tight for finances. but it is only $75 a month on top of your $100. Don't say $1,000. $1,000 gets sticker shock. $75 a month on your credit card. How many major donors do you have? It's funny, you know, there are people that you can ask, and if you ask, they will give. But we don't ask. So that's something that's important for us. Polio commitment, I talked about that already. Do you contribute to CART? If you don't, please do. Your significant service projects, fundraising projects, social events. Yeah, we want to know about your social events. Some people say, why did you put a social event on here? Because that produces the camaraderie and the fellowship that we're talking about that makes people want to stay and be part of it. How are you involved in the youth programs? We talked about that already. And how many people are attending the various assemblies. So I don't see any reason why every club shouldn't be able to put in an application. Do you? They may not be as strong as their neighbour club, in their view, but they can still apply to be the Club of the Year.
There are 3 of these, right? The small, medium, and large.
Exactly. Thank you. Thanks, Carl. Yeah. And because you are grouped that way, you can't raise as much as the Hilton Head Club, 150 members, if you're in Tirard. But you can certainly do your bit. And if you don't look at these as a means to encourage your presidents to plan for the best success they can have, then they won't succeed.
David, is it true, and Rob was telling me this earlier, that the AG that has the Club of the Year gets a cruise or something?
I'll take it out of my 6-figure salary, shall I?
I'm Robert. My name is Rob.
That's been recorded, and no, I don't get a 6-figure salary. Okay, well, that's all we need to say about foundations. John, I think we've got a TED Talk, was it? I'm going to stand.